Hello, welcome back to an extensive collection of name tags and hairnets. It's been a while. It's been over 2 months since I've done one of these. A lot has happened personally and then in the world, and just every day it was just a little less wanting to do this. So, thank you for sticking with me. I appreciate it. And we're in for another episode. If you've enjoyed the journey so far, please like and subscribe. Or at least just subscribe. That'd be great. I will try my best to get through this because there is a lot of other content that I want to be doing specifically around marketing. Um, so before I can do that, I need to do this. So I'm one of those, can't do that until you do this. So here we are. We're going to talk about the time I was a waitress. So I'm using my iPad right now as my script. So this is the first time I worked in a restaurant as a waitress. So if you remember, I did work at a pizza joint as a cook, as a pizza maker, doing a lot of prep work and things like that. But this is the first time I was an actual waitress. This is a job I had right after I quit the call center, where I worked at East Bay. If go ahead and watch the previous video to get yourself caught up. If my timeline, let's see, if my timeline is correct, I worked here just after the call center while I was still working at the Boys and Girls Club in the afternoon. So the restaurant was open all day. It opened at, I think, 6 a.m. And that's what my shift was, like 6 to 2 a.m. So this was still early to mid 2001. And I really don't know how I learned about this job. It was either newspaper or I saw a sign in the window or somebody recommended it. I don't remember. I don't even remember the interview, quite honestly. I know it was, I had to go in there and I sat in a booth with the owner. That's all I remember. And I think I got the job like right away. There was no second, third interview. It was just one interview, and there you are. And the only thing I remember her saying was that I needed to bring my own apron, or I needed to provide my own apron, which was like, oh, shoot, this is my first waitress job. She's like, well, you're going to have to go buy one. So fortunately, a friend of mine did have a waist apron, just one of those little black waist aprons. So she let me borrow it, which I really appreciated. Full of cat hair. So this restaurant, it's no longer in business. It hasn't been in business in years. I think it was called Three Sisters or Sisters Cafe. It was located on Bellevue. The building is still there. There's nothing in this building. It's this white building on Bellevue Street. So if you've gone past like Frankenpats. Yes, I know it's Cranky Pants, but I call it Frankenpats. If you go past that, it's across the street from Beebles. So there's that white building. You could tell it was like an old mall. It was at the corner of this building was this restaurant. So again, for geography, this building is across the street from Beebles Catering, which I'm old. More history. I remember when Beebles used to be a grocery store. That's how old I am. It wasn't always just catering. You could go in there and grocery shop. You could buy your milk, your produce, all of that. Now it's just catering. So that's kind of cool. And side note, this mall, none of the shops were vacant when I worked in this mall. When I was a little kid, there was a video store in there. I'm talking like early 80s. There was like a little video store in there. I think that's where we pre-ordered ET or something for VHS. And then what else was in that area? Oh, there was a vacuum store in that building. And then across the street, so next to Beebles, there's a building, KI. If you're familiar with office furniture, KI, that they're headquartered in Green Bay. That building years ago wasn't KI. I think it was, they tore down the old building. The building that was there before was a roller skating rink. My mom was friends with the daughters, or the owner's daughter, the daughter of the owners. I remember we went in there once when I was like 3. We didn't get to skate, but we went in there because I think my mom had to talk to her friend. And I just remember, it was definitely, it had that late 70s, early 80s aesthetic. So yeah, I loved it. So that whole area, it still looks the same, but it's different. The fact that down the road is radio station. If you're familiar with Cutter, that's I think pretty works now. Now I'm just throwing in a whole bunch of stuff. And also, what's really funny is in that area is Bank of Luxembourg branch, and I'll be talking about them in a future episode. That's going to be a fun one. Anyway, I'm rambling. So like I said, this was a restaurant. They opened at 6 a.m. I was there. My shift was 6 to 2, with enough time to go home and shower before I had to go to the Boys and Girls Club. And I think I had to be there at like 3 or something, or 3:30. I don't remember, but somehow I had enough time to do that. So the restaurant itself was catered, especially in the morning. My shift was catered toward retirees, which, for them, the menu, I mean, the whole menu was very, very typical American fare. So the restaurant was just, typical breakfast stuff. And then you have the list of, okay, well, how do you want your bread? What kind of bread do you want? How do you want, what kind of breakfast meat do you want? And how do you want your eggs and stuff like that? And it was too much for me. That sounds terrible, but if you know me, I'm very forgetful. So it was an interesting place. I had my section, and it just waitress, fill up coffee, take people's orders. It's harder than you think. If you've never waited tables, it's harder than you think. And people who are really good at it, they are really good at it. Give them tips, because it's not easy. If you're a forgetful person, it's terrible. Oh, okay. So it's been a while since I wrote this script. So I'm just kind of rereading it. I should have read it before I went on. I'm like, Simon Whistler, who do I think I am? I did have an employee discount, but I think I tried not eating during my shift because I felt guilty taking a break. This sounds about right. Northeast Wisconsin. Especially when you're sitting in a completely different section, hidden from customers, and are still approached as to why I'm sitting. I hated that. And I was only there like a month, but yeah, I would be off in a way different section, away from everybody, by myself, trying to eat, halfway through my shift, my, 8 to 2 or 6 to 2 shift. And a customer would walk past me because they had to go to the bathroom, and they had to walk past me to go to the bathroom. Like, hey, why are you sitting? Why are you eating? It's my break. Oh, well, no, I need something. I need syrup. I need ketchup. Like, I'm on my break. There's somebody filling in for me. Go talk to them. So it's amazing what the entitlement of some people. Yeah. And, I even wrote in here, I'd explain that I'm on my scheduled break per the owner and, laws, and still would be chastised for not waiting on them. You can quickly grab the ketchup for me. You're not doing anything. Like, I'm eating. Bear in mind, these folks are attached to the person who is their server. Anybody who's worked in the restaurant industry around certain older folks, they know no matter what, that person is assigned to you. It's amazing. They're paying for the meal, so they own you, I guess, for the time that they're there. It's a weird mentality. I have never thought that, but it was just really ridiculous. So I'm fidgeting about it with a whole bunch of stuff. Apologize for that. So it's not conducive to somebody who has a lot to say. I didn't care for it. So why did I leave? I mean, I've pretty much kind of laid it out already. It wasn't so much that I left, more that I was really, really, really bad at it. I didn't drop anything, so that's good. That was an improvement. It was just I couldn't remember anything. Had trouble memorizing the menu with all the different choices, like I said, and now it's, as an older person, this is half my life ago. Yeah, I get it now with a menu. Okay. You get your eggs a certain way, you get your toast, you get, a certain bread. Now we have all sorts of different substitutions. People who have a gluten allergy or are vegetarian, are vegan. It's completely different. I would be so lost, and it would just be a very basic menu if I ran a restaurant. And so again, you know how I said the customers, you know, they want to tell you, hey, go get me. I know you're on break, but go get something for me. So they use their power collectively to basically tell the owners or the owner that they didn't like me. They didn't like how slow I was. They didn't like the fact that they knew the menu better than me, and I'd only been there a few weeks, and they had been coming in every day for years. It's like, well, of course you know the menu better. You don't have a job to go to. This is my job. I don't know. But they know they didn't like any of it, and I wrote this. It's so great. Their tips were a huge indication as to how unhappy they were. Pennies, nickels, less than $1 on a table that had $20 worth of food, and I'd get 60 cents. And by the way, I was making minimum wage, but it was server minimum wage. So it was around $2, 2.14 maybe per hour plus tips. So that was another reason why I left. Was not making any money. I don't remember how much I made or how little I made that month that I was there. It was ridiculous. So the owner basically said, like, yeah, the customers don't want you here, so I'm gonna have to find another server. Sorry. Like, this is literally my first serving job. But anyway, and as I was leaving, she accused me of taking the apron. I said, no, this is my friend's apron, and she'd be very upset if I didn't give it back to her. You told me in my interview that I needed to bring it. So she let it go. It's like, really? I've got nothing. You're firing me. I have no job now, but yeah, I'm stealing your apron because I'm clearly going to be a waitress again. So, like I said, I think it was there barely a month, maybe 3 weeks. It was not for me. Again, they're out of business. Besides, I think the owner retired like long ago. So, the lesson: when you're starting a new job, ask questions. Learn the material, especially if you're going into a service industry. Learn the service, learn the products as quickly as you can, because people will let you know that you're doing a bad job. People are just people sometimes, and it's not cool. I try to be as patient as possible, especially if somebody says I'm new. Like, I am as patient as possible. I know what it's like to be in a new job, and you're still learning things. You're still learning where the bathroom is half the time. So just be cool. So especially now, just be nice to people in the service industry. Would you really want to wait on you? If you had to interact with you, would you want to deal with that? If not, change your attitude. I do understand being frustrated, especially now post pandemic, supply chain issues, hiring issues. Pardon me. People not wanting to do these jobs anymore. Pardon me. And we're heading into a recession with the highest inflation in years. It's not the same world as it was 20 years ago, let alone 5 years ago. And we need to be a little nicer to each other. And that's a really, really hard thing to ask right now, considering what's happening in our world. Yeah, we need to think more about each other. That's about it. Life is hard enough as it is. Don't try to make it harder for other people. Just be cool and hold doors for people. Be nice. Just little things. And we'll get through. That's about all I have. It's a short episode just because it was a very short role. I think my next video will be about the time I worked in a hotel. I think it's gonna be that one. Very short role, maybe 3 months. I'll be talking about that, and then we'll get into some more fun stuff. So I don't have much for that video. It'll be another short one. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about being a waitress in a restaurant serving older people. So I did the math. These would have been people, they weren't boomers quite yet, or wasn't quite boomers. It would have been people from like the silent generation that were coming in. This was 20 years ago. So, these were people in their 60s. So The pre-boomers, the before boomers. So interesting, huh? Um, yeah, that's all I have to say. If you're interested in anything marketing, I do host a talk show, I guess, interview talk show where we talk about marketing for AMA Puget Sound, American Marketing Association. I've got a link down below. If you're interested in kind of hiring me quick for a marketing project, or not even hiring, just commissioning. Um, you can commission me for a marketing project, a strategic plan, anything to do with marketing, digital marketing. I can do all of that. We can talk about it. I've got a link below. Or if you just want to buy me a coffee, that'd be great too. I've got a link below. Other than that, thank you so much. I appreciate your patience, and I will stop rambling and let you go. Have a great day. Thank you so much.